and I had like $1,000 worth of gift cards in my glove box.
No way.
And I was like, so I like ran outside in my Gitch at the middle of the night.
You got all this, right?
Yeah, ran outside in the middle of the night in my Gitch. Hey, what's up? It's Brandon with NCC TV, and we are at Everflow with Derek talking about PVC windows. Derek, what can you tell us about your windows that you have in your showroom?
Well, we've got a great line of windows. We've got manufacturers like Plygem, North Star, KP, Gentech. We deal with pretty much all the major manufacturers. We've got all types of openers. You can go casements, awnings, single hungs, tilt and turn. So if you don't like getting outside on a ladder to clean your windows, you've got windows that you can actually open up, easy cleaning, and close them back up, and away you go. Nobody likes being up on a ladder doing work like that.
And what should it cost on, like, let's say this window, for example, what would the cost be on replacing the sealed unit for an average person?
You know, depending on the size, you know, something like this, you're probably looking around $300. Something like this, you might be looking up around $500 or $600.
And so if a customer is looking for a window contractor in their city to maybe service this window, how would they source that person?
Well, ideally through you and companies like us. The one thing I do recommend to anybody is there's a lot of different guys that do windows and doors. Always look for somebody that has a showroom, a shop that if you have an issue, you can walk in the front door and talk to somebody. There's a lot of guys that, you know, operate out of their truck that, you know, may do your windows once, but when you have an issue, you may never get hold of them again. There's lots of reputable people. Better Business Bureau is a great place to look as well. And just referrals, talk to a friend. We do great work for one person, like yourself, and it just spreads to others.
Nice.
This is one of our North Star windows with a black exterior. It's actually a vinyl exterior on it. It's a wrap, not a paint. Gives you a beautiful wood grain look. And really from the outside, PVC, you're not going to have a lot of issues, but if you happen to see, you know, damaged stops or something like that, that would be about your only service on it. Everything else would be a glass issue or something more on the inside. If this was a wood window, same thing. You look for wood rot. If your windows and doors don't close and open proper, you know, if you got to push it closed, it's time to look at another window. Or
So if you hire a contractor that installs this window specifically or a different window, how can you make sure that it's installed correctly, and what are some things to look out for when your contractor is installing the windows?
Well, you know, the unfortunate thing is when you install a window or door, as a homeowner, you really can't tell. The one thing you always look for is before they leave, is your window clean? You know, just make sure they spend the time to actually clean it proper. Make sure while the installers are there, open and close your window. Make sure everything operates proper. Check the finish of it. You know, if this is cut into stucco, you'd want to make sure that it's a nice clean stucco line, or caulking line. We've got a lot of guys that will use, you know, an inch of caulking to cover up a poor installation. Clean and neat is the sign of a good quality installation.
And so going now onto the inside of the windows, there's a lot of contractors are using either spray foam or bad insulation. I know that bad insulation would have been the traditional form of how to seal your window from the inside, and now a lot of people are using spray foam. Could you tell us the difference between both of those insulation products?
We actually use both on an install. So what we do is right inside the nail fin or the brick mold, we do a thin bead of spray foam just to make sure it's sealed up from the outside elements, make sure no wind, no moisture gets through. And then we put bad insulation in. It gives a little bit more airspace and just allows it to actually insulate better. So we use a combination of the two. So this is your brick mold. This would actually be on the outside of your house, right up against your plywood. So what we would do is we'd fill the cavity about an inch, inch and a half of spray foam to make sure it's sealed from the elements. And then we would stuff the rest of your jam depth with a batt insulation.
Is it important for the contractor to seal this off with silicone?
Yes, we do actually silicone that to the plywood as well. And in behind that, there should actually be a vapor barrier house wrap that ties into it. We use a sheathing tape there just to make sure no moisture can get down from the house wrap in behind the window.
When your contractor's retrofitting this window into a new space that didn't have a window before, how important is it to have a flashing on the top to redirect the water that comes down the wall?
Great question. You should always have a drip cap over top of all your windows and doors, just to allow the moisture to kick out from behind your siding, stucco, and get out on top of the window so nothing can backtrack in and rot your sills.
Okay, well, I think that answers almost every question to do with windows. Long story short, if you're looking to install a window or hire a contractor to install a window, make sure they've got a showroom, they've got some good referrals, and that's pretty much it.
And deal with great guys like Brendan at NCC.
Yeah, deal with great guys like us. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.
For power outages, which recently in Saskatchewan we had a large wind event and some snow behind it, and it created power outages for a lot of rural areas. The simplest method is a product called GeneraLink, which basically installs behind the electrical meter this component here.